Hey guys, it's Katie, and today we are going to be talking about Transcendentalism. Now, Transcendentalism was a philosophical movement that started in the late 1920s or 1930s. Well, not 1920s, 1930s. I'm sorry, I screwed up. It happened in the late 1820s and 1830s, and it was, again, a philosophical movement that was in protest or was a reaction to the spirituality and intellectualism. Now, I may go deeper into this particular subject at another time, because I myself do find this interesting, because as a poet and a writer myself, I do identify with these people because of the subjects that they write on, my own beliefs, and the fact that I think they are amazing writers and poets. Now, we are only going to be covering one true transcendentalist. The other two are considered, at least by my English teacher, honorary transcendentalists, because they follow the same kind of beliefs as the transcendentalists did. So we are going to be covering Ralph Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, and Emily Dickinson today. And this will all contain and be about a few of their quotes from their poetry. I'm going to include 10. There's going to be 5 beliefs and obviously 3 people that I am going to be quoting. And with their quotes, I'm going to talk about how I feel about what they're saying, like that and all. But I want to talk real quick about their beliefs. Now, the Transcendentalists believed in determining one's own fate. They believed in being one with nature. They believed in independence and self-reliance. Determining one's own fate. I said that again, but I said that once, but I'm going to say that again because I really do believe in that. The unity of all souls. Simplicity. They really disliked organized religion, an institution. They don't like being dependent on people, which I kind of am, so they probably wouldn't like me. But again, I'm a high schooler, so I live in my parents' house. I kind of have to. I don't have a job yet because I just got my way of transportation. I have a moped, but that's beside the point. And they would probably very much dislike me because I am not exactly someone that they would love. But we are going to be talking about their quotations now. So, with Emerson, we're going to start off with him first. In his poem, novel, transcript, whatever you want to call that, Nature, he wrote this: "Yet it is certain that the power to produce this delight does not reside in nature, but in man or in a harmony of both." Now, that kind of ties in with 2 beliefs. Well, 2 beliefs that I'm going to talk about. Oneness with nature and unity, along with the oversoul. Now, what he's talking about is delight does not reside in nature, meaning that it resides within us and nature. And it resides within us and nature, well, not nature itself, obviously, but in a harmony of us and nature. And what I think about this is I do agree with what he's stating. Because when I go outside, and I'm out there in the woods or wherever, I feel a lot more calm, I feel at peace. Because it's more natural and it feels like you're a piece of the actual world. And I don't want to go more into depth on that because I just don't want to go farther into depth because I will take up my entire video talking about that. So the next one that we're talking about is again Emerson, but it is from Self-Reliance. And he says this: In the attempt his genius deserts him. No muse befriends, no invention, no hope. Now, I see this as inner self, and the individual, and like not being connected to others. What I think he's saying here is not exactly genius or intellect. In my own opinion, I think it's more of the creativity and someone's ability, or like muse. Because he does state, again, in the attempt his genius deserts him. No muse befriends. Without a muse or something to power you through with your like talent or arts or whatever you do, it's kind of hard to actually do something because there's nothing there powering you, there's nothing inspiring you. And that talks to me very deeply for multiple reasons that I really don't want to get into. So we're going to go into the next one. This is, again, this next one's from self-reliance, and the other one is nature. It loves not realities and creatures, but names and customs. So this is more about predestination, which they are against, and this is actually quite a complicated thing for me to explain, but what I feel from this is that it doesn't like someone... I'm going to read this again. It loves not realities and creators, but names and customs. They like a direct connection with God, and okay, now I get this. What they're trying to say, this is like being in an indirect relationship with God, and they also really dislike like realism. And I think this is talking about not loving realism and creationists or creators, but names and customs, so things that have already been, like things in the Bible and stuff like that. But they do dislike organized religion, which again makes no sense to me, but I'm going to move on. The sky is less grand as it shuts down over less worth in the population. This again is nature, and I think this is with unity. But I think this is more with society or the institution that they are against. This is very hard for me to explain. I don't want to get too in depth with this, because it is actually really hard for me to stop once I get into depth with something. I go all the way and then I switch to another topic and I get off track. But they're gonna say this. I actually do believe this is being against society as like the institution, government, politics. Being how society is being too dependent and more. I'm just gonna stop myself there. Now Dickinson. The soul selects her own society. She has written actually I think over 2,000 poems or 1,000 poems, and I think that's really amazing. But we're gonna talk about, and she doesn't name them. So the soul selects her own society, then shuts the door to her divine majority. Present no more. Now this is determining one's own faith, I believe, and spirituality. She's determining her own faith because the soul selects its own society, and it shuts the door on everything else. And then she has this direct relationship with God, and then there's death. And this is what I see from this. The next one has no name again, but it is My life closed twice before it's closed. Oh, crap. My life closed twice before it's closed. It yet remains to see if immortality unveil a third event to me. So I think this has to do with, this is with death. And I forget, crap. Okay. This is more towards death and being one with everything, I feel. When I see this and when I think of this, I feel as if she's trying to say she had two life-changing events, and then the third event was her actual death. So, since we're running out of time, I'm going to go to Whitman and keep these brief. Okay, Song of Myself. That's the title of the thing I'm going to be reading. Well, all of them. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf, at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. Now, this has to do with nature, and loaf is another word. Like, if you loaf around, it's kind of being, like, lazy. But we all need to be lazy and alone at some times, so just him leaning and being one with nature and observing it. Logic and sermons never convince. The damp of the night drives deeper into my soul. So, sermons, logic, he's against rational proof and logic. And then he's also really does say that he hates sermons and organized religion. An unseen hand also passed over their bodies. It descended trembling from their temples and ribs. Again, this is more with God and spiritual, like, I don't know. And it's talking about, like, oneness and a direct relationship with God, from what I can see from this. Okay. I exist as I am, that is enough. If no other in the world aware, be aware I sit content. He is content with people not knowing who he is, or what he's doing, or being famous. He doesn't care about any of that. He just existing is enough for him. And I find that really poetic and things like that. Well, that is basically what I see. I find it as this very poetic, very something that is a life motto for lots of us. I exist as I am, and that I am, that is enough. Just existing how you are is enough, and if no one else knows who you are, that you're existing, that is fine too, because you are content. And that's going to end our video today, so thank you for watching. I hope that I got you interested in this. So, bye-bye!